Scotsman and international soccer player Archie Fraser is CEO of St Kilda Football Club. Archie Fraser has worked in senior roles with global businesses across Australia and Asia and was a partner and CEO in a Melbourne-based HR consulting business that was acquired by a US company. Archie also consulted to the Saints for a number of years and joined the club in 2005 as GM of Commercial Operations and was appointed CEO a couple of years ago. First of all, Archie, great to see you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Being a St Kilda supporter, notice how I haven't kissed the ground you walk on. That'll come later. Let's talk about St Kilda, the Saints in the community program, first of all. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, look, we really feel that the club as a whole needs to be fully integrated into the community to be successful. Ultimately, football clubs play a major role in the community, and we've really developed a program in conjunction with the playing group as to what they want to do and what they want to get out of it. So, fairly strong initiative is set up in terms of the club moving forward, being part of the fabric of the community, and we really think it's part of our role in society as a football club to be integrated well and truly into the local fabric of our community, which for us is effectively the Bayside area.
And it's also going back to the old days when the sporting club or the football club, say for example in the bush, would get involved in the whole community. So you're sort of replicating what was once part of the whole scene.
Yeah, well look, that's where the players, future players come from. So, you know, the kids that idolise the AFL stars that are there, if they can see them every week. Our formal school program now goes to 100 schools, both secondary and primary. We speak to up to 250 kids every week through the community programs. And then we have some other community programs as well, which are the Lana and Madeline Foundation through our charity programs, Sacred Heart, where the players go down and actually serve meals to show some strength and some direction for some of the people that go through the Sacred Heart mission. And then we also have Make-A-Wish and Starlight Foundation, where we're really active participants in bringing wishes true to children who are medically have some challenges, etc. So the club really works very hard in terms of integrating itself into the fabric. In terms of Frankston area as well, we've got some very specific programs over the next couple of years that we're going to deliver through the Frankston area that will have a major impact on the lives, we think, of many, many people in that area.
You often see or read in the media that somebody's done something and it's just been almost lip service. Tell us about some of the programs which the club is involved in now.
The schools program is clearly it's a healthy eating program. There's some bullying programs where the Nick Rewalds right through to young Jack Stevens, a local guy, will go down there as a 17, 18-year-old player, first round draftee, and they'll deliver programs to individuals who are in need of some direction or just some guidance or just that little bit of a shining light that they may need to just spark them to be either better, as a scholar or want to be a better athlete or just a better person in the community. It's a twofold benefit though. The playing group were really integral in developing the program because they feel that they get something out of it as well. So, from a club we get something out of it. We strengthen our brand or connection to the community. We become truly part of the fabric. But obviously the people that we speak to each week get some benefits. So, they're the formal side, and then we have our charity program, as I say, where we can, we might get a young kid who's gone through some hard times medically, who we might bring along and part of the Starlight Foundation, give them the ability to toss the coin and, again, at Telstra Dome in front of 50,000 people. So, there's a lot of things football clubs can do other than just play football on the weekend, and we certainly realise our part of the community and part of our fabric is really it's critical to our long-term success.
You're moving from Moorabbin. Has that had an impact on these programs?
Well, I think change is always the initiator of new programs. I think when we decided that we were going to be moving down to Frankston, the Frankston Council are very willing participants in the improvement of their whole city, and the sort of programs that they would like to run, I think we allow them to really run and implement very strongly through the football vehicle. The football opens up the doors and opens up the minds and hearts of lots of people. So they had some programs they were running. We've sat down with them and actually formalised some of the things they wanted to deliver in some of the areas that probably needed some work on responsible drinking, drug and alcohol issues. And I suppose we've transitioned and shown them what we've done internally as a club to formulate those sort of policies. and worked with them in conjunction to actually deliver some really meaningful, hard-hitting programs that we think will have some positive impact. So the catalyst for change from Moorabbin to Frankston certainly initiated, I think, a reinvigorated program on the community, and allowed us to work with some partners that were very willing to participate and want to take a really long-term view on it. And you know, the whole integration of the Bayside area for us, which covers, our programs now cover Port Phillip Council, Kingston Council, Bayside and Frankston City Council, where we're going to concentrate for the next couple of years on, you know, we really think we can have a very positive impact. Supporter feedback, one thing great about running a football club, the supporters always tell you how you're going. The move to Frankston's been, yeah, it's a surprise, isn't it? Look, the move to Frankston has been very positively received by the general supporters. We've had an improvement in actual sign-up and members, even as early as this in that area, that Bayside area. But we think that's just really the start of it. It's a major growth corridor for Melbourne. Frankston as a city is part of the Melbourne program as a transit hub over the next 25 years. It's a wonderful growth opportunity for us as a club, and I think it really cements, what does it cements our future in Melbourne. It also gives us a world-class playing and training facility, which is really important for the playing group and the level of player that we have. So, you know, by the end of 2009, start of 2010, we'll have a $12 to $15 million facility down there that will benefit not just the local community, but also the players and the football club for a long, long time.
So what's the process from moving from Moorabbin to Frankston? What can we actually see happening?
Well, right now we're in design phase, early phases of design to effectively put the facility together and make sure it functionally works. Over the next few weeks we'll be going through some of the planning process with the Frankston design committees down on the council side, working with the architects, the planners, working with you know, the consultants on the roads, local community input, really everything to this stage now. So it's really all systems go in terms of delivering a building on budget. It's important for us, obviously, to make sure that we don't have the club in a debt position, which is, but the funding from the state government and the AFL and local council has been outstanding, and for that money we have to deliver extensive community benefits. So we've really been working closely with all those bodies to make sure that they get the return for the local ratepayers and taxpayers for the dollars that they've kindly contributed to us. So we're certainly well and truly aware of our need to deliver on all the promises that the Minister for Sport and Recreation has given, and Andrew Demetrio, and obviously the local council, mayor and executives have given us. So acutely aware of what we have to deliver, and very keen to participate positively in that program as well.
Your history with soccer, both I think in Brisbane and also in Scotland.
Yep.
You're in Melbourne, you're amongst, I think, the best football code in the world, but I'm biased anyway. Do you have any clashes with yourself? Do you have that schizophrenic moment? You look in the mirror and go, what am I doing here? I'm enjoying myself. No, I'm not. You ever have those sort of things?
Oh, no, I think, you know, I stopped playing a long while ago, so I have no ambitions of a comeback.
Which is the best code?
Look, I keep saying, as far as our club's concerned and AFL's concerned, we don't play this game at any higher level in the world. I don't see it as any different from a Manchester United or an AC Milan or a Juventus or whoever else. So, you know, my take on things are, I was very fortunate to be exposed at the very highest level in English soccer as a youngster. And, you know, I saw a lot of success and why it was happening. So I think what I transitioned through to our club, I think, is you know, certainly the thinking that we can do whatever we want to do, and it's only going to be the limits we place on ourselves. So we don't play the game any higher level. We've got incredible athletes, their bravery, their skill, their perseverance, their second efforts, their fitness levels. I think all of those things are wonderful attributes to the game that we have here. And Melbourne's a unique city. I mean, I've been in Australia since 1980, so I've been here longer than I was in Scotland.
You just sound like an Aussie.
And,
not.
Yeah, it's fading. If you hear my young brother, you would say I've lost my accent. But I suppose to summarise it, if I had to go to the FA Cup final or the AFL Grand Final, I'd probably pick the AFL Grand Final.
And hopefully St Kilda's playing in this AFL Grand Final.
Absolutely would be.
Because you know that's a never-ending dream, which hopefully you'll bring to fruition. Your experience in business, you're a successful business person. What have you brought to the club with your experience?
Well, I think every business that I've been in really has been successful because of the calibre of the people. You know, whether it's on the field or off the field, you have to have really high quality people, and to get them, you have to invest in them. So I think certainly my philosophy is that our people need to be the best in the business. We've put together a first-class executive team. We've really developed our behind the scenes, behind the off-field side of the game, both in our sports science area, our medical physicians, physiotherapists. From a business perspective, it's the same thing, whether it's negotiating a major sponsorship or communication strategy or delivery of your community programs. They're all things that need to be delivered by people who are committed, are working in a fun environment, and really are the best that we can possibly bring in. So the focus has been on developing that team and clearly leading that team and allowing them to effectively lead the organisation by challenging a lot of the boundaries that we would have had in a traditional football club. We see ourselves an icon brand. We've been around since 1873, and we need to understand our brand values, understand how we should behave, and then deliver that to our supporter base, because you are a St Kilda supporter because you follow the brand, you follow the team, you follow what St Kilda stands for. So we really worked hard on all of our staff understanding what the club is all about, and making sure that it's ready for the next group of supporters that come through. So look, the people are just critical to the business, and I think we've worked very hard on that.
From 2005 in October, when you came on board, to now, how has the club changed?
Well, I think I've been around the club for probably 5 years prior to that, fortunately enough to see what was going on in a consultancy capacity. Probably the biggest change is the investment in the staff and the people that we've got. We've got a clearer direction. We understand what we are as a club, what we are as a brand. I think we're very well respected, not just by the AFL. We've brought in some, I suppose, informal policies on the playing side as well, where the leadership group's much stronger, our football department's a lot stronger. So I think it's really about the calibre of the people and really clearly understanding why we're there. We're in the premiership business. We don't exist to make $1 million profit every year. We actually exist to win a premiership for the 390,000 fans that we have out there around the country, and the 30-odd thousand members. So every minute of every day we should be focused on how do we get closer to that, and I think the small percentages that make a difference. So our medical team that we put together last year, our behind the scenes conditioning team, or guys that work on the load management of individual players, the dietitians that we now have, the whole program of getting the best possible outcome for this football club, I think, is well and truly, the foundations are well and truly there. On a more commercial side, you've got to have the income to sustain that. So we've worked pretty hard to make sure that we've got good income streams, long-term income streams, good relationships. Our new sponsorship this year with Geldwen, a global company, had never been in AFL football before. We've done a 3-year commitment with them, which is a major involvement, and they're a major player in sponsorships around the world, but they hadn't done anything here. So to have the sort of partners we've been able to attract, I think has been very positive. So it's a never-ending target that moves all the time, but that's part of the fun. You wouldn't do it if you didn't know that.
You're a successful businessman. Is the St Kilda Football Club successful?
I think clearly we're in the premiership business, and won flag since 1873. I wouldn't describe us as being successful. So that's what drives, I think, the team that we have there, both on and off the field. We believe that we will do everything possible to deliver the ultimate goal. So I mean, certainly, personally, I wouldn't. I'm there because I want to win a premiership, and I don't want to be remembered for somebody who delivered consecutive $1 million profits at St Kilda Football Club. I mean, we're there to make sure that we spend the money in the right places and effectively make us competitive, so that on that last weekend in September we're there, and when we get there, we're good enough to effectively bring home and change the history of the St Kilda Football Club. So I know that that's what my executive team get up every morning and think, and I know the players think that. There's no question about that. So getting all those elements to come together at the one time, that's the challenge. That's what drives you. But I would say that we're successful in a lot of ways in terms of our off-field, but ultimately, premiership success will be, that's when I'll say we're successful.
We need to know, just finally, when do we win the next flag? Because you're the CEO, you're the man we look up to now, except for Robert Harvey.
Absolutely.
God and yourself. When do we win the next flag?
Well, there's
This year?
Well, I think at the beginning of the year, there's probably 16 teams think they can win it. You know, we're around 7 now, gone into round 8. There's probably 3 or 4 teams that can't make the 8. You know, we certainly believe we can clearly make the 8. Even with the most recent injuries we have, we think we've got a strong enough squad. You know, we're 4-3 and haven't really played all that well. So, you know, I think we'll play finals football this year, and we really see with the players coming through that we'll be, you know, we aim to be in the finals for the next 5 years consecutive. So, the more times you're in the finals, the more chance you've got. I think if we get into the finals, I think there'll be a lot of teams that would be wouldn't be looking forward to playing us, and you know, there's a few teams peaking a bit early. So, you know, we're quite happy. There's a few undefeated teams out there at the moment. They've got to keep going. It's a long season. You know, we're not unhappy. We don't think we've played that well so far. But 4-3 at the going into the 150-year celebration game, I think we're. You know, I'm obviously not allowed to bet, but you know, if I was a betting man, I might be just putting a few dollars on us for the finals.
It's 2 final things. In a word, 1 word only, how would you describe the St Kilda Football Club? 1 word.
Exciting.
And I've actually yet to hear this from a Scotsman, so in your best Scottish accent, I'd like to hear you say, "Mike, I would like to buy you a beer." I've never heard a Scotsman say that yet.
Mike, I'd be happy for you to buy me a beer.
Archie, thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you, Mike.